to meet the specific needs of children. Then only it is possible, then only inclusion can be successful. And that is where we are having a lot of challenges in this. So before wasting much time, we will be starting with basically on a question and a discussion mode that we would want to keep this panel. So the first question that I would like to put to Dr. Sujata Bhan is regarding the curriculum part. So what do you think, to what extent does the RCI curriculum for teacher education, especially in special education, respond to the evolving capacities of inclusive education, keeping in mind the NAP and the RPD Act?
First and foremost, I want to thank Seva in Action, particularly you, Ruma, to give me this opportunity to be here and share my experience and thoughts over this very, very important theme, that how capacity building for both in-service and pre-service teachers is very, very essential component for inclusive education to really take place the way we really want it to be, and not just be a rhetoric and be a reality in the true sense of the word. Now, I want to go back. When we talk about teacher preparation, I think SNDT was the pioneer department where we started teacher training for special education back in 1977. And Indumati Rao Madam was a very regular visitor to our university at that time, and Dr. Samriddhi Swarup was heading the department. And she's seen that our department really took a lot of initiatives to produce good special educators. Now, a major change happened in 2015 when two-year B.Ed program was introduced, and at that time, the focus was on cross-disability teaching. So if you're specializing in one disability, you also need to do a bit of theory and practical in another disability of your choice. So every institute offered two cross-disability opportunities to the students, but basically they were specializing, and they continue to specialize in one disability today. Now, today when we look at NEP 2020 or we look at RPWD Act and how does it have implication for teacher education, we have moved from special education to inclusive education. Having said that, I don't want to undermine the role of the special educators, the role of special schools, because there are still many students who have high support needs and they have to be met in a setting where we do justice to their needs. There should not be just a physical inclusion for the sake of it in government schools, which I have witnessed in many, many parts of our country, that a government school is the only option for the children. So no matter what their disability is, no matter what is the severity of the disability, if they can walk, if they can come to the school, they're brought to that school. But no intervention is actually happening with those students in many instances. I won't make a generalized statement, but in many places. So what I feel is that the curriculum today is being driven towards empowering our pre-service teachers with inclusive pedagogy. A lot of theory is being given to them to understand the diversities in their class, but the practical related to that is not really as, I would say, being followed in many organizations. So I still feel today's special educator, one, lacks to address all the disabilities that she may be having in her class, because she's only trained in one disability and a bit about another cross disability. And secondly, whatever theory is there for inclusive pedagogies, there is not much practical exposure, practical experience given to the students for that. So even if on paper our curriculum is evolving, but unless we have a monitored supervision of these pre-service teachers in inclusive settings, I think we are still far from it. So on a positive note, yes, because the curriculum is, developed in that way, it is now up to institutions how they transact that curriculum. We have also now developed ISITE program, which is Inclusive Special Education Teacher Training Program, where we are trying that our teachers are treated at par with regular teachers. So they are given a dual degree, and they can be general teachers as well as they can be special teachers, or they specialize in a particular disability, which they will. So they'll be a very good support to the regular class teacher in that particular disability area if you have students with that disability. Then there are also stages. We have teacher preparation at foundational stage, we have teacher preparation at preparatory, middle and secondary stage. And the pre-service teacher after 12th has to decide whether she wants to be a foundational stage teacher and in which disability. So once she does that, then she's stuck with that for all her life. That is how the curriculum is designed. Now, we are still at, I would say, at a pilot study kind of a status right now. So I don't know what would be